I'm 70 years old and I've been bow-legged all my life. I'm Jeff Madsen. I'm from Tremont, Utah. I had an injection from MSK Guide in my right knee. I was a welder at Northrop Grumman, which builds space shuttle and space stuff. And I was a welder there, working on cement floors all day, 10 hours a day. And then on top of that, when I was a lot younger, I would come home from work and try to ride 3 or 4 outside horses every night, starting colts and training reining cow horses and trying to build my cow herd up. So it was day to day, just like a lot of other ranchers that have to work for their full-time job and build a ranch too. And it just kind of gradually came on. Probably, let's see, I've been retired for 9 years, so maybe 10 years prior to that, I was having pain at my job, and I went to a doctor, and they told me at that time that I needed a partial knee replacement for my knee, and they also said we could try injecting chicken comb, rooster comb, into your knee, and that should pad it. I didn't go for that, and so I just lived with it until this last year, and it got worse to the point that I didn't want to walk up to my shop. I walked, it hurt. Otherwise, I tried to ride my side-by-side as much as possible. I still like to ride my side-by-side, but it doesn't hurt to walk like it did. Me and my family run about 100 to 120 head of beef cattle. They'll range out on some range until the 1st of December, maybe mid-December, and then we will have to bring them home probably and start feeding hay. We have a feed mixer and stuff that we can mix the feed, but there's always so much leg work and hand work that has to be done. So we'll be busy taking care of the cattle. Well, I've never been one that really liked to be cut on. I have had my left shoulder, the torn rotator cuff done. As far as replacing joints, I just don't like the thoughts of cutting my leg off and then trying to splice it back together. So when I heard about the MSK Guide, I was very thrilled, and Rick's a good friend of mine, so we went to high school together, and when he suggested it, I looked into it and thought that was for me. A year ago, now time frame, we were just here doing our fall work, and my knee was really hurting, and I didn't want to walk anywhere because it hurt, and I thought I need to check into that more. I just need to, because I don't want to have an operation. I've seen a lot of friends who's had their knees replaced, and it either didn't work at all or they was laid up for a year, and I thought I don't need that. I can check into this. If it works, I'll be better and good to go and continue riding my horse and doing my cow work, and it was just a good thing all the way around. I would think a lot of folks are going to say, yeah, what if it don't work? I've spent this money because your insurance will not pay for it, as far as I know. My Medicare didn't, so what are you out? You're out the money. But if you had knee surgery, you'd be out 6 months of time of life kind of deal. Plus, there's going to be some co-pays and stuff like that along with your insurance that would probably be more than the amount of money it costs for the MSK Guide injection. My only reservation was, what if it don't work? That kind of self-explained itself right there. If it don't, it don't. But knee replacements don't work all the time either, so. Before I ever really looked it up on the computer, the website, I called her and talked to her about it. Obviously, we had a very pleasant experience. She's a super nice lady, and her husband's a really nice guy. I like the pair of them really well. Afterwards, we looked it up on the computer and kind of got some more information about what it would actually be. She kind of told us, kind of what it was, but she recommended we look it up on the website and get a better picture of how it goes. And then we listened to a bunch of other testimonials like this. Just the not being cut on. I mean, anytime you start cutting on your body, it's going to take a long time to heal, and I just wasn't into that. It only took about a week of thinking about it, and I thought, let's do this. What are we out? A little time, and if it didn't work, I can still have the knee surgery. If I have the knee surgery, then the MSK Guide is not in the happen. I'm so thankful that I did that. They told me, and Rick told me also, that, you got to give it some time. They said give it at least 3 weeks. So we spent a week in Arizona after the injection, went to see some friends and toured around a little bit. Well, riding in the car that wasn't really good for it. needed to have a little exercise. But when I got home, I thought, well, I'm not too sure this is working. The longer it went, the better it started feeling. It was 3 weeks, almost to the day, and Rachel called me and says, how are you doing? And I said, starting right now, I am feeling good. And I would say today I'm probably 95 to 99% better. Can I run like I was 17? No, but I can ride all day. I can work and do the things I need to do at my age and get along really well. About probably 3 weeks, it was feeling much better. And I feel like I can do stuff still as far as riding, and I have a little irrigated pasture here that I have to irrigate once a week, and you put on your hip boots and walk down through the mud and the grass and stuff. It's pretty hard on your walking ability, and I can do that without pain. And so if you're not in pain, you also feel a lot bit more like doing something. I know that it works. No, it hasn't made me a teenager or even in my 30s or 40s, but anytime you can get up in the morning and not have your knees hurting, that's something right there. Before the procedure, I'd lay on my side a lot. I had to have a pillow between my knees because it just hurt to have them kind of touching. I had the pressure on my knee holding in, especially if I was on my left side and I was bow-legged this way. Holding in made it really painful. I didn't sleep very well. I'm sleeping much better today than I was then. Without trying to sound like a salesman, I just would highly recommend it. It's a great feeling to feel fairly good again.